today. It's going to change your life. Now, I would ask each of you to get something to write with as you're sitting in front of your computer this morning. You're going to want to take some notes. It's going to go pretty quickly, and after it's over, there will be a way. We'll give you the details on that for you to be able to listen to the webinar again at your convenience. But Dr. Gary Gordon is president of Gordon Research Institute. He's known as a father of chelation therapy. And I'll tell you, I saw Dr. Gordon a few years on the Benny Hinn program a few years ago, and I was taken when I saw him because of the knowledge, the wisdom that he was sharing, and I knew I had to meet him. So we invited him to come to Dallas, and we did some radio programs together. We've done some television programs together, and it was just so amazing to hear what he was saying, because it's just not typical information that you hear every day. Dr. Gordon has really researched and studied for so many years that he is able to show you how to take your own body and put the right nutrients and do the right things to get the body to its full potential and to fight disease at the same time. So I'm so honored to have Dr. Gordon with us this morning, and I am excited about this webinar. This is going to be the first of many more to come. So thank you again for joining us, and I'll just be interjecting here and there and asking some questions to Dr. Gordon, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to him. Thanks, Dr. Gordon. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I'm so glad to have this opportunity to speak to a growing audience that are interested in understanding that mainstream medicine is missing the target, and increasingly we believe that the leading cause of death in the United States probably today is the medicine your doctor prescribes. And so we've got to give accurate, useful second opinions to people that are trying to take care of their body, the temple, because what goes into our temple is having a terrible, terrible influence on our health, because we have poisoned our planet. And so whenever someone is being treated for a condition today, whether it's cancer or depression or Alzheimer's, I don't care what the diagnosis is, from high blood pressure to fatigue, whatever's wrong, the last thing you're likely to find in 99% of doctors' offices is somebody talking to you about how to detox your body, which is a process that has to be done every day of your life. Because when we breathe or eat food or drink fluid, you are getting lead and other toxins. And the thing is that we have proof, as I will show you in today's slides, that when you have less of these toxins, any condition is easier to treat. So if we get the lead and the mercury and the cadmium out, your blood pressure is easier to control, your weight is easier to control, and your cancer doesn't kill you so fast. So whatever's going on, we have to recognize that the future is going to be in personalized medicine, where we will actually take and save you from needless death by doing gene testing. And fortunately for us, the Supreme Court justices 2 days ago struck down the idea that genes are patentable. Why do I care? Well, you'll see as we go through this today that people are having tests done to determine if we have a likelihood of dying of ovarian or breast cancer. Well, that test should cost $100 to $200. Instead, it's costing $3,400. Why? Because somebody wants to take advantage and game the system, and that's coming to an end. So it's really important for you to know that we will be able to actually test you to find out if you are taking medication for depression, or medication to thin your blood like Coumadin, or medication for pain. We will be able to find out whether or not that medicine is doing you much more harm than you dreamed. Because remember, the first thing I said is that what is the major cause of death in America? Well, according to the AMA, their journal says The fourth leading cause of death, that's the fourth, after heart attacks and strokes and cancer, the fourth leading cause of death is the drugs your doctor gives you. But when we look at the data, we're afraid that they have not looked at all the people who die at home. They only looked at people who die in hospitals. So we think the truth is that the drugs are the leading cause of death. And how are we going to get off drugs? Well, you have to have valid, accurate information. And one of the things my group of 3,000 health professionals in 13 countries called FACT, one of the things we do is we offer a second opinion, and I always record anything I tell you. When you actually get an opinion from me, we send it to you recorded by email so that you can put it in the face of your doctor who thinks that he's given you the only choices, because there's always another choice. As in the case of Angelina Jolie, if she had been my patient, we would not have already removed both of her breasts, and we would not have her scheduled to have her ovaries removed. But she's not getting that kind of accurate second opinion information. You see, what we know is that personalized medicine is going to allow me to tell you, by simply taking a swab from your cheek, which is painless and is now covered by insurance, I can tell you whether or not a pain medicine is dangerous for you to be on. What's the point of that? Well, we recently had 6 children die needlessly because nobody had told the family that we have a test that finds out how your body metabolizes drugs. As simple as a pain pill, heparin with codeine, has 6 children needlessly dead because nobody knew that gene testing would have warned the doctor they've got to use some other medicine, so we may not have to kill so many people as we start getting into where all this is going. And so in the case of Angelina Jolie, we have a difference of opinion. And there's a group of doctors that really are nice, responsible doctors with major medical centers, and it's so impressive when you pull up in front of the big white tower, you think they have the real answers. But they are absolutely incorrect. They were telling this poor lady that when you have the BRCA1 or 2 gene, it's almost like having a curse. Nothing is going to help you. Now that is where the lie is, because we know, and they admit, that when we teach you, as we're doing today, what a truly healthy lifestyle and diet and exercise program can do for you and what supplements, when we teach you this, they admit that there will be less cases of breast cancer develop, but they deny it and pretend that it won't help ovarian cancer. And I have on my website proof that we've been able to absolutely bring every case of ovarian cancer into complete control using detoxification, which is part of today's topic. And we combined it with a low-level laser. So I'm on a real tirade to prevent thousands of women following the brave example of Angelina Jolie by cutting off her breasts and having reconstructed breasts built for her, so now her husband doesn't know if it's really her. And then they're going to follow that by taking this young woman and removing her ovaries, which will put her into early surgical menopause, so she'll become an old woman in front of our eyes, because they'll be telling her that she can't even take estrogen, which is a complete major lie, because we have a total answer today that no one has to fear a healthy herb that works in place of estrogen in your body to prevent needless aging and bone loss and needless cases of Alzheimer's and breast cancer. So we're going to cover a lot of information today. So you need to know that I'm really aware that we lose people in this country from heart attacks first and strokes, and then we lose people from cancer, and then we lose people from things like Alzheimer's and diabetes. And guess what? We've now tied those 2 conditions together, but none of my patients in a 10,000 person study that we did in Tokyo, none of them died in 10-year study of cancer, even though everybody in their family had gastric carcinoma or they had the genes for stomach cancer. So genes do not determine, and that's why Angelina Jolie needed a second opinion, and it's my job to help those of you who are taking your time today to listen to us, to know that on my website, which we'll get to, there's tons of information that you can actually learn how we cure ovarian cancer cases by doing detoxification and low-level laser, or how I have no fatal heart attacks in anybody in over 20 years, and I've canceled bypass surgery.